they put in there at tackle. Woo! They got to deal with that one. There we go.
What's going on, sports fans? It's Josh Williams back again with another episode of the American Fan 365 podcast. Welcome to you guys watching live on Instagram. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and continuing to support the show and the channel. If you're tuning in to the replay on YouTube, let's see, where else are we? Zeo Radio, and Jerome still has to tell me what the name
Pony
is.
Express.
I hate you.
1-800-COLLECT.
The name to the right is the bearded one, Dave Nobles. Dave, how you doing?
I'm a lot better than last week, that's for sure.
Yeah, you were. I mean,
It was a struggle last week.
It was a flu game moment. You came through. Good job.
I apologize to whoever followed me in this studio.
You had me worried because I was like, oh, it's allergies. He's like, no, I'm sick. I was like, oh, Christ. All right, well, I don't need to get sick again right now.
Yeah, you made it. We all made it. Everybody survived.
You had a good fourth?
I don't do anything for stuff like that. I try to stay away from it.
You've been in Vegas too long, bro. Like, Vegas? Travis, how long have you lived in Vegas? Your whole life?
My whole life, yes.
So you guys don't really understand what holidays look like in other cities.
Oh, I agree with that. It's just my time living in California. It was very different. But
Okay.
I just don't mess with it. And I happen to live in like a fireworks neighborhood where they're lighting them off for days before, days after. My poor dog. He's been going through it. These people are shooting off mortar shells, man.
Thank God that this year I didn't have that.
Because
I swear some years it's like, bro, it's the 7th. We get it. And why must you continue to shoot fireworks off at 2 and 3 in the morning?
Well, also it ain't always just fireworks.
Nah, well,
there's definitely other stuff getting shot off too.
If you're mapping it out well, God bless you. You're an elite level criminal.
Good Lord.
But
I hate it. It's so stupid. And what a waste of money.
For those big boys, yeah, that's serious. I did fireworks decent one time. It was like, this was $1,000.
Yeah,
I'm all set.
That's chump change in the firework game.
Yeah, it ain't chump change in Joshua's world.
Well,
so.
I'm not saying it should be. I'm just saying these people with the fireworks, man, don't we have people that could get fed? Shouldn't we be doing something for somebody?
Let's celebrate our independence and get some folks off the street.
Yeah. How about people independent from some food banks instead of you shooting off 7,000 fireworks?
I hate you, Trav. But yes, other cities, bro, like cities shut down for holidays. Like Vegas, one of my issues with Vegas is, Christmas, Thanksgiving, all of those things. People are still working. The casinos don't close.
Oh yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? The stores don't really close. So there's never really a feeling of this is a big deal, like we should spend time with our families, our friends.
It's like the classic thing I've been asked 1,000 times, like, well, they have you here today? Yeah, dummy, because you're here. If you weren't here, I wouldn't have to be here. But here we both are.
What do you think, Trav? What do you think?
It's unique. I like this town. I hated it when I worked in retail because then I was always had to go in.
It's the worst. Mm-hmm. It's the worst. It is the worst for retail, especially because you get that question all the time. Oh, I can't believe they made you come in today.
Same thing. It's like, well, why am I in? Because you showed up today. I worked at Office Depot. I'm like, yeah, you need a stapler on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I feel
you needed
your
a
pain.
Stapler that bad. You couldn't
Your
wait.
pain, man. I was at a place in the Strip for years and years and years, and let me tell you, nobody was doing any business. They're there to hide from their families. Like everybody takes their big family trip down there and then they just scatter. Just go everywhere into the wind because they really don't want to hang out with each other or talk to each other or interact in any way, shape, or form.
They just want
so they just come bother you.
That's a travesty. Do better, Vegas. Let's take it around the world in sports. Our Around the World in Sports segment today is brought to you by our friends at House of Dutch Pot, Las Vegas's #1 choice for fine dining Jamaican cuisine. A taste of Jamaica in the heart of the desert. 4255 South Durango Drive. Taste of home in every bite. Head over to House of Dutch Pot today. Dave already seconds that emotion.
You know it.
But Dave, we've got some Wimbledon drama. And matter of fact, I just got an alert, so he might have actually pulled this out today as well. Let's see.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen anything from today on Wimbledon.
Give me 1 second.
You're gonna have to steer that ship because I'm flying blind.
No, you're good. You're good. We'll get through it together. Let me see here.
Listen, all my hope rests in our new hope.
Yes. Wow. Okay, so this actually makes the story even better.
Okay,
good. So first off, I said Wimbledon drama because American Taylor Fritz had some trash talk. He, after beating French opponent Arthur Rinderknecht, I guess it's his last name, he told him to have a nice flight home after his 4-set win in the second round. And, if you know anything about tennis is about etiquette. Tennis is about, the way that we do things. But do you feel like for American tennis to come back, because American tennis hasn't been around since really early 2000s, truthfully.
I mean, other than women. Yeah,
the women have been okay.
Women are still out there.
But the women really was Serena, Venus.
It's true. It really was.
What was her name? Lindsay Davenport.
Sharapova was American. She always played for America and everything.
She was Russian.
She was Russian, but
she was Russian. She only played
grew
for
up in America.
Yes, she did. She
So
came over.
she really was American.
That's fair. But do you like to see this level of brashness?
Yes. What else are we watching this for? I mean, you want to see the greatness, the true dominant players at the top, but there's a reason why people still play John McEnroe clips.
Yep.
You know who we don't see clips of anymore?
You cannot be serious.
We don't see Bjorn Borg clips from his heyday.
Not money. Well, you know why? Because they've lapped Bjorn Borg like 5 times.
Well, but that means that they've lapped McEnroe a long time ago.
Yeah, Pete Sampras.
You still see stuff about Jimmy Connors, too.
Yep.
People like the personality. We like when the U.S. Open, when it gets rowdy.
You know what? Our players, if you really think about it, Jim Courier, Agassi was probably the most controlled. Michael Chang,
Yeah, all of Agassi's character stuff usually was off
the court.
Yeah, but I mean, him and Sampras would get into it here and there, but
yeah.
And that was another. And Pete Sampras was, I mean, as great as he was, Pete Sampras was
boring. No personality.
Good Lord.
Yeah,
robot.
His wife though.
Yeah, he did all right.
Veronica Vaughn.
He did all right. Oh, Veronica Vaughn.
So hot. But yeah, I mean, like for me, man, I have to see it. American tennis, like we said, hasn't been around truthfully on the male side since Andy Roddick. Andy Roddick was our last really big one.
And the thing is, Andy Roddick, maybe he was an all-time great. Who knows? He came up when Fed was Fed.
Yes,
and he was not that good.
No, he was not.
Because no one was.
Well, Taylor Fritz, to get back to Taylor Fritz actually just took out in 5 sets Alexander Zverev to move on. And I believe this is going to the quarters. So let's
make the road easier for my boy Alcaraz.
No, come on. We got to pull for the American.
No, I'm pulling for Alcaraz because I need somebody to slow Djokovic down. That's why it's like it sucked when of course I was pulling for Tiafoe, but when Tiafoe went out, it's like goes out to Alcaraz. I'm like, this is for the greater good.
It's for the best.
I don't know that Tiafoe is in position to be beating any Djokovic's at this point in his life.
No. I think you're correct in that.
Carlos, you're our only hope. Yeah. You really are.
Save us.
Tiafoe's a fun player, but I don't know. He just strikes me as one of those guys that's going to be fun to watch in every tournament, but I don't know that he's going to win any. Not the majors.
He's Gael Monfils.
Yeah, Monfils is a perfect setup.
Like,
Monfils is a great player to watch.
Great, very exciting, but when it comes down to it, you're not going to win. So if you're going to stop someone that's going to stop somebody from me, I'm going to have to pull for who I need to be there.
That's why I'm there. Yeah. That's why all people need to slow. We need to keep this gap close so we can have arguments. Because if he rolls off a few more majors,
there's no
we
argument
can't have arguments
left.
anymore.
There's no argument left. Yeah, seriously, we can't. He can't have any more this year Give my boy Rafa at least one more ride. Next up, shut up. You shut your mouth. Next up, we got Lavar Arrington 2. Travis has the picture for us. Yeah, so Lavar Arrington II is actually going to his dad's alma mater, Penn State. Dave,
these kids are killing me, man.
I mean, looks just like dad too. That's crazy. Like, he looks just like his dad. Just
at least he's smaller. Good Lord, because if he's going into college that big.
Yeah, I think he's a linebacker too. So I'm like, weight room, son. Weight room.
Tremendous.
It's gonna have to be weight room for sure. But shout out to him. Shout out to Lavar. You know, I believe he was the number 2 pick for my Redskins.
But I mean, how many players now? I mean, Surtain.
Yeah.
You're getting Asante Samuel's kid.
Ray Lewis's son.
Frank Gore's kid has made it all the way through college.
Yeah, Frank. Yes, Frank Gore's son. Yeah, we've hit that fork in the road where our legends are having baby legends.
No, we have now seen whole careers, and now we've seen like their sons' whole college careers, and their whole age has hit us.
We're getting old, Dave.
It's listen, and you see from basketball coming up. It's only getting worse.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So many.
These classes coming up. It's like it's all nepo babies. It's Carmelo's kid, Boozer's twins, Gilbert Arenas' kid, Matt Barnes' kid. Yep. Like half the U.S. like under U20.
U20.
It was like U19. Mm-hmm. Almost half of it. Their dads played in the NBA.
That's cool. Look. Be on the lookout for my nephew. Jerome's son is it's really gonna come down if he grows. So that's the only one. I'm glad that my 2 nieces did not get taller than me. We're about eye level. He's the only one where I'm like, go on, boy, you can go ahead and have it. I won't wish against the knees getting hard, because trust me, with the nieces, I was like, please do not get taller than your uncle. This is just a tragedy.
But it is a sight to see, to have seen people's whole careers and now all their sons coming up.
Yeah.
It's wild.
And if any of them are what Dell was to Steph, it's going to be a very, very interesting league.
Well, and that's like you see something with like Cayenne Anthony.
Yeah.
Like Carmelo has been on his own show and said flat out, Cayenne, you're going to school. There is no one and done for you. That's not an option.
I love
it. I don't care how good you are.
I love it.
So that's why they're taking a long time and they're seeing everybody. Like, they're taking a long time with that recruiting process, because like he said, you are going to school.
I love it. And honestly, a lot of those kids, truthfully, like, especially now with the NIL, and I know you don't really care for NIL, but my feeling with NIL,
it's not that I don't care for NIL.
You don't care for certain
love
aspects
NIL.
of it. Yeah,
I don't like the unlimited movement.
Yeah,
I think there does need to be some movement. I don't like the complete lack of regulation.
Yeah.
I 100% love that these players
are getting
paid because money has been made off of their backs for so long. And I know the argument's always the education, but it's like, yeah, along with that education, you made people a lot of money.
Yeah.
And a lot of players got, I mean, you look at the Fab Five, you look at some of these other players that really got taken advantage of.
Mm-hmm. It's not right.
Yeah, I don't feel bad about it. These rich guys, they want to give the kids some money. I don't care. Doesn't hurt me any.
Yeah. I mean, but like you said, Boozer's children, Gilbert Arenas' son, these kids that are coming in situations where they don't have to. I feel like those guys, and then also NIL, we could start seeing an infusion of juniors and seniors start coming back into the league.
It would be nice.
It would help.
It would be nice to not. Because the thing is, like, you have some of these guys coming in and jumping so fast. They're in the position, they don't, like, Carmelo said it himself, my son doesn't need to chase that money. No. I did well enough. He can wait a little longer to get that payday because
he doesn't need it.
We're not hurting.
Yeah, at all. He's not hurting.
Yeah.
He's got his own Jordan deal. He's fine.
Yeah. They'll all be okay. I wish there were a few more that had that mindset. Clearly, it's not shared by everyone.
We will get there. But yeah, it's exciting times. Exciting times for the league. I'm excited to see where it goes. A bit of sad news coming out of the NFL. Minnesota Vikings rookie Khyree Jackson, from my neck of the woods, from PG County, died in a car accident over the weekend. I want to say this was 4th of July night because it was at like 3 or 4 in the morning. He was a 4th rounder, actually was in line to possibly start for the Minnesota Vikings this year. Played at Oregon and then also played under Nick Saban at Alabama for a year or two, and he was only 24. Jackson also was in a car, so a little bit of background on the situation. He was in a car with 2 other of his friends. Everybody in the car was 22, 23, and they were actually hit by a person driving a high rate of speed, and all 3 of them perished. Jackson,
sad story. Nothing to even get into on something like that. It's just tragedy on top of tragedy in a story like that. You hate it. Whole life ahead of him.
I mean, the saddest part, it's not the same as Lynn Bias, obviously, just the similar fact of it being from my area, but to get to the goal. Now, it's not that you had experienced it and you don't even know what his career could or would have been, but to get all the way there and then have it taken, that would be really, really tough.
It's heartbreaking. Nothing good to be said from this. It's a terrible situation.
Yeah. In some WNBA news, Angel Reese broke the WNBA record for consecutive double-doubles with 13, breaking the record that she shared actually with Candace Parker, who did it all the way back in 2009 and 2010. Dave, is she on her way?
Clearly. I mean, Angel is – people could think whatever they want. Angel's a star. Angel gets eyeballs on the game. I mean, she's not getting as many eyeballs as Caitlin Clark, but all the people who aren't that big of fans of Caitlin Clark, they all seem to love Angel.
Usually the other side of it is like, oh, I love Angel.
That's another,
Reese.
speaking from your neck of the woods. That's
Baltimore Barbie.
Yeah, she knows how to be a star. And I think people look at it because they think of NBA stats with double-doubles and things like that. These are 40-minute games.
Yeah.
A double-double in a 40-minute game is not the easiest thing in the world to do.
Yep.
Especially since sometimes you got Cardoso out there now with her, who's 6'7".
Yeah, who's also taking some of the rebounds away.
Now she hasn't been playing as much, but there's a reason why the record is where it's at, because it's hard to do. Like, as great of a season as Asia's had, she's had a couple games where it's like 5-6 rebounds.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's tough.
It's not as easy in the WNBA, I'll say that. Also, some WNBA news: Napheesha Collier sits out with that vegan disease, plantar fasciitis.
Terrible.
Putting her availability for the Paris Olympic Games in jeopardy. She's currently averaging 20 a game, 10.2 rebounds, 3.7 assists, and 2.2 steals for the number 1 ranked 15-6 Minnesota Lynx.
Well, and she will be sitting. She ain't going to go to Paris. It's their coach.
You don't think she's going to go?
If I was their coach, I'd be like, we're winning with or without you in Paris. We need you here.
It's fair. That's fair.
So
they did say that they were going to monitor the situation, but plantar isn't anything to play with, especially on the women's side, because it's if you already are taking some of the explosion away, that there's not like leaps and bounds of explosive nature anyway in their game. To take what is there away, not good.
Yeah, I would just think, especially with it being your coach, I can't see why you'd run that risk.
Does young Miss Caitlin Clark slide into?
She's too far away
to the slot.
There's other players that were in training. Jesus, that were in training camps that will be there. I mean, the biggest thing they're always going to use with Caitlin is she wasn't available for the training camp, and she's got plenty of other years to go. There's plenty of good WNBA players that did not make this team.
Yeah.
So I think they'll be fine without Caitlin Clark. They don't need the boost.
Yep.
Really don't.
Save her for 2028?
Yeah, 2028 will be in LA. She'll be there by then.
That's crazy. Yeah, we'll definitely have to go to that.
Oh, yeah, it's
God willing. Let's see. Dave, after flaming out in the Copa America Cup.
Trash.
What now for the U.S. men's national team? Should Gregg Burhalter be replaced?
Yes.
Okay. And if he's pushed aside, who replaces him? Because we talked last week about, what were we talking about? Where everyone always is like, oh, this, and it's like, well, what do you got on deck?
Well, people have really gone pie in the sky
Okay.
Because I have seen people. It's not going to happen, folks.
Okay, go ahead. Who do you got?
They want them to make a run at Jurgen Klopp.
Yes.
No, believe me, I wish. He could change the game in this entire country. I'm a Liverpool supporter. I love Jurgen Klopp. At worst, he's the second best manager in the world.
Yeah.
At worst.
He's not coaching right now.
He is not. But I think there's a job that will be opening up after these Euros that I think he will take.
What job?
England.
Oh.
Because Southgate, I know they've advanced. He's doing a terrible job with that team. He has guys playing out of position. He just... Klopp has already said he won't take another Premier League job. There's only so many high-profile jobs he could take. Now, if you were to say, let's take the fantasy scenario, because of course he's the best option.
Okay.
You take the fantasy scenario.
He's pretty good. I mean, sorry.
How dare you?
No way your eyes lit up.
How dare you? What more does that man have to win?
You were ready to go. So just so everyone out there who doesn't know who Jurgen Klopp is, Jurgen Klopp, German national, was a player, played for Germany, and then also has been the Liverpool coach for a number of years, has won the English Premier League.
He's won everything. He won everything.
With that team.
There's not a trophy he did not win.
I had, so outside of Jurgen Klopp, there's also one Thierry Henry.
I can't imagine that happening, only because... listen, anything is better than what they have right now first. Klopp is the pie in the sky thing, but if it's Klopp, number one, you're going to have to commit more money than you would possibly imagine.
Give it.
But number two, you would have to... He's a genius. He is smart enough to remake the entire foundation. So starting with all the problems that America has, going all the way down into the youth system, you just give him carte blanche. Once again, I say all this by saying it's not going to be Jurgen Klopp. I would love it if it was, because then the U.S. immediately becomes dangerous. He's that good.
God, let it happen. Let it happen, Jesus.
Oh, it would be amazing. But like I said, I think he's going to end up, because I haven't talked to any English person that I know that's exactly thrilled with what Southgate's doing with England. I would find it much easier for him to find a way to England. It's a much more world-class roster.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, listen, actually ready to possibly win.
With the right manager, they're good enough.
Yeah,
they have the talent.
They have enough. They have enough for sure.
Also, the other great thing is, if in that dream scenario with him, his style of play is fun.
Yeah.
Players love to play it.
We need that more than anything else. Thierry Henry currently is coaching the U20 team for France, for his home country of France, as well as he's on the coaching staff for the national team as well. One other coach, Marcelo Bielsa from Uruguay. He's currently the Uruguay national team coach. His nickname is El Loco Bielsa, which means crazy Bielsa. And he's 68 years old. I'm all set. That's
68's too old.
It's a little too much. We don't need any. Who is it? Was Bruce Pearl? Not Bruce Pearl. Bruce
Arena.
Bruce Arena. We don't need another Bruce.
Yeah,
Pearl.
just
Jesus. Both of them old.
It doesn't have to be the splashiest hire. It has to be better than this, because those were shameful performances.
Yeah,
there are countries in Copa America that are good, world class. I mean, the reigning World Cup champions playing the Copa America. Brazil plays in the Copa America. Countries they're losing to are not that.
Yeah.
These are not loaded with world-class players. They're
good, but not great.
Yeah. I mean, we have a lot of guys who are good enough to be playing internationally now, but it's not a good team.
You don't think
the U.S. is a good team?
You don't think it's a good team?
No, I don't see any. Part of the problem is we've never had two things. We've never had a great creator. We've never had like a Kevin De Bruyne. We've never had that person who can set everyone up and make everyone else better. U.S. has never had that. And the U.S. has never had the world-class finisher, or even close to a world-class finisher.
We've had good finishers.
We've had good finishers, but these guys, when you look at them playing internationally, are barely making it to...
Clint Dempsey was very good. Landon Donovan was very good.
solid players.
Yeah,
and
but never was ever elite.
This is never any disrespect to them, but these aren't the guys that are taking their teams to major trophies in Europe.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Moving on, we got Baker Mayfield. We got a picture of Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield has decided to shave the beard. Dave is a bearded man, and I've seen pictures of Dave with the beard and without the beard.
It's been a long time.
When's the last time you took the beard down?
It's been well over a decade. No way.
You were doing the beard before it was fashionable.
Oh yeah, I've been doing the beard for quite some. When you got a nose this big, man, you got to hide things out everywhere you can. It's a terrible choice, Baker.
It's rough times. Rough times.
Commit to the beard.
Baker Mayfield sans beard.
Looks so young.
Yeah, he definitely turned back the clock. He went. That's prepubescent Baker right there for sure.
That's definitely my wife has been asking me for quite some time to shave the beard shaved. There's no way. And you can also see by the amount of 5 o'clock shadow in the thing that beard's coming back real soon. That's a guy that did not want to not have a beard.
Mistakes were made.
Well, now he just looks like any other dude.
Yeah,
I walk past 25 of those guys a day.
There's no edge to him.
Just hand him a White Claw and he could be any guy walking around.
I hate you so much. We actually have our first fan of the day question from Instagram. Mr. Roman Kulunga from Instagram asks, what is our opinion of Bronny James's first Laker appearance? 4 points, 2 for 9 from the field, 0 for 3 from 3, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, minus 15 plus minus, in a 108 loss to the Kings. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are these guys. I was watching some NBA TV. That's how much of a sicko I am. I watch like Game Time where we're breaking down summer league games.
Middle of the summer.
And Steve Smith was like, "Oh, I just saw immediately that he belongs." I was like, well, what did you see from that? I mean, listen, you're far more knowledgeable about basketball than me. You played it at the highest level. So this isn't a sign of disrespect, but guys, come on. How long are we going to keep doing this? How far can we go with enabling this narrative that he's an NBA player? Here's what I want to know.
Yeah.
So we talk about the draft. Why is it that so everybody's excited that he was drafted at 55. His teammate Boogie Ellis, who was a better high school and college player than him, undrafted.
Yep.
Where's everybody getting enraged about that? Where's everybody getting all worked up? Because that's a kid who could use the opportunity.
Yep. And that's and that is when people feel like, oh, you're hating, or oh, aren't you excited? Sure, it's very cool that LeBron and his son gets
cool.
He was
he has established this position of power for himself to force this to happen.
Yep.
And listen, they're gonna have a highlight together. It's gonna get a little dusty in the room when I see it. It's gonna be really cool.
Yeah.
And then I'll go back to saying like, that's a job someone else have. I mean, guaranteed contract.
That's the other thing too.
But it's like
no two-way. I think it was $8 million guaranteed.
You know how much I hate the Lakers. I love everything about this. Keep building that confidence. Keep getting him out there. I was tormenting my friend Bruce the other day just with these messages, just the sarcasm just dripping off of them constantly. Because I was like, 4 years, right? Is that 4 rings, or are you only going to get 3 out of that 4? You know, and just also like, LeBron, the 1+1, that's worked out for every franchise that he's ever been with, right? It's always been great when he holds the franchise hostage. Everybody loves that.
Completely in handcuffs.
But all of it's awesome. I love it. Listen, when I'm happy about all of this, I was happy with what I saw.
Yeah.
I hate the Lakers, always have and always will. And seeing him out there, giving him all this run, makes me feel really good.
The funniest part, if you guys check the story right now, he sat out the next game with a swollen knee. And he's supposed to play. They lost that game as well. They got their doors blown off in that game by the Warriors. I guess, G League team, essentially.
Well, and that's the other thing is you're talking about Steve Smith talking about how he belongs. Almost none of these guys are touching an NBA floor.
Yeah. And he looked bad with people that aren't going to be in the NBA.
It's interesting. I listen, seems like a great person. I have no ill will towards the kid. All of these years of LeBron strong arming, this is the result. So I'm just wondering how all the passive aggressive comments come out.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, this is the second round pick. So, but like him and JJ are cool, clearly. How cool are they when it's time to blame somebody? Because it's going to be time to blame somebody. That will happen.
Someone will get blamed. Today's Fan of the Day segment is brought to you by our friends at Coco Love, reminding everyone to stay hydrated and hydrate with love. Crack a Coco Love today. Thank you again to Roman for his Fan of the Day segment question. If you'd like your question featured on our show, please, like we said before, make sure you DM us. Send us your questions, send us your videos, and I'll make sure that you guys are put on. Keeping it in the NBA, Steph Curry says he thinks this Warriors team is the last great dynasty of the NBA. His quote, Dave, "I don't think it will be replicated just because it's very hard to keep things together in this league. A lot more player movement. Me, Klay, and Draymond, we complemented each other so well for so long. We all brought something different to the table, so we'll see. Records are meant to be broken. Dynasties come all different shapes inside of us. So we'll see." What do you think?
I think he's exactly right. This new setup is built to not have dynasties.
Yeah.
Now, would I like something better to happen for a team like, say, the Warriors, where Klay, Steph, and Draymond are all homegrown? Yeah, I wish there were more provisions for things like that. But there's very few teams that's even a possibility to have those provisions.
Yeah.
But everybody says that this second apron is the true hard cap. The Clippers even ran from it. Mm-hmm. And they don't, Steve Ballmer doesn't run from spending money. So you have to look at this. He's probably not wrong, because you realistically have to look, like, I have to look at it for OKC. Like, these next couple of years, they have to get a title. Because eventually you can't pay everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
They're set up great on their timeline right now, just like the Warriors had their timelines. I mean, they got the extra boost. And players, no one should have ever complained about that Warriors team. You guys are the ones that didn't let them smooth that cap so they could go get Kevin Durant in an offseason after winning 73 games.
Yeah.
If you would have let that cap be smooth, they wouldn't be able to throw that money around like they did. So I don't want to hear anybody complaining about that.
Well, the biggest thing that's lost really on the whole dynasty that was the Warriors was that they were able to re-sign Steph Curry to that baby deal for so long.
Right.
He was so underpaid for so long as an MVP.
Well, his ankles did that, though.
His ankles as well, but like his money was he far outpaced his money.
Of course, by a lot.
For many years. He's getting his money now.
Yes.
But for many years he wasn't. And that's truthfully what birthed their dynasty. They were able to pay people, keep people under the in-house, and able to get going while their best player wasn't being paid.
And your tough part is you either have to eventually let somebody go like they did with Klay. Although what people have to remember is Klay turned down bigger money last year.
Yeah.
Than what he ended up with. So he could have still been there for a couple more years.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Klay Thompson. He wasn't close to the same last season.
No.
It's the slippage is monumentally real, because a part of the big thing is Klay used to be a great two-way player. He's not a great two-way player anymore.
Yeah.
But with players, you can't make mistakes. I was actually just listening to somebody earlier today. They're talking about, say, with Denver. Now they're having to let Caldwell Pope go. And they paid that Michael Porter Jr. money. That back better stay good.
He's looked okay.
He's looked okay.
To start his career for sure.
Now you're at the point when you're at that tippy top level.
Yeah.
You can't miss.
Yeah.
There is no more room for
Tobias
mistakes.
Harris over me?
Yeah.
Tobias Harris over me? You can't be wrong.
Don't
get it wrong.
That's the thing, is you can't get anything wrong now, because and the league wants it this way. The league wants parity.
Yeah.
I would say now you're running into a league where there's more parity than even in the NFL. Because at least with the NFL, you have the stability of a franchise quarterback's not going anywhere.
Yeah,
And you build off of that. Like there's whole guys like I'm a Bills fan. Josh Allen will probably be a Bill his whole career.
Yep. Yeah.
So at the very least, you put a competent enough team around him, you have a chance at some level of at the least playoff contention, if not more.
Yeah.
But that also leads to hard decisions all the way down the line. In basketball, those decisions are even more difficult because there's only so many players, and the absolute best players, once grouped together, they impact things so much more because there's so many fewer players out there.
Yeah.
So I think the parity, it helps. I mean, it helps to be a fan of a team like the Thunder who are so well positioned.
But you got to do something with
But
it.
in a few years, that goes away. I mean, in a few years, you have to pay Jalen and Chet and Shea.
Yeah.
And Shea even more. And by the way, they will all have earned it. So it's not like, and the problem, what I don't like is that, especially in the case of like Jalen and Chet, they were drafted by the team, completely homegrown. You should be able to get some sort of bonus for a player, because I think it's just better. What we're really going to see is so few players are ever going to only wear one uniform.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, realistically, the last great one may be Steph. I mean, who knows? I'd be shocked with Jokic leaving, but I wouldn't be shocked if some years down the road Luka left.
Well,
it wouldn't amaze me.
Well, look at it this way though, because if Mark Cuban isn't the guy anymore, or the Adelsons aren't letting loose the money like Mark Cuban was, there's a definite real chance. And also we talked about it before. Luka's positioned himself to make $1 billion on the court.
I have a question for you though, Josh. Was Cuban not good for them?
Yeah.
Do you think so?
Well, I'll tell you in terms of
what did they really?
No. I'll tell you in terms of from NBA players' perspectives. NBA players' perspectives, he was a fantastic owner. Now, did they get it done? Did they get it done on the court? Not as much as you'd like.
But I think it was more so at the beginning. He ushered in a new era of owners.
Yeah.
But eventually, plenty of owners were willing to do all the same stuff. So he lost that initial edge quickly.
No, I promise. Mark Cuban was full spread. The food, when I tell you the food at All-Star Weekend,
I am not disagreeing with you, and I know how much he was out there doing. I'm just saying he helped usher in an era where more owners were doing that.
Well, and I think Gilbert said this one time. It wasn't on our other show, but he had said this in one of his interviews, and he was saying that there's a difference between owners that want to win championships, owners that want to make the playoffs and make the appearance of wanting to win championships, and owners that are just here stealing money. He said that 80% of owners are just there to steal the money. Then there's about
but that's
15. There's another 15%.
That's their mentality. A lot of those hedge fund guys, realistically,
they're just
the bottom line is the bottom line.
Yeah, they're just here for the money. Mark Cuban was always that 5% of owners that actually wanted to win and was willing to spend. He was willing to go into the luxury tax, all of those things to put on a competent product on the floor for that team. He's just in the West. The West has been, Wild Wild West for a long time.
Look at Steve Ballmer. There's no money he's not willing to spend.
Yeah, no, exactly. And he's a similar type. He's a similar type owner.
The new regulations in the league even cut into him because realistically, if you really want to overpay and start getting hit with those repeater things, your franchise is crippled. You have to wonder, because the thing is, post-clutch, when LeBron's in Las Vegas with Rich Paul, I know we've lived our whole lives with the Lakers being a destination. The Lakers were bad before LeBron got there. They were in bad shape. Nobody wanted to go. LeBron wanted to go to L.A. It had nothing to do with the Lakers' know-how or wherewithal.
Yeah.
He brought all that with him. So no matter what anybody thinks about LeBron, he took a team that was going nowhere and got them a ring.
Yeah.
Point blank period. There's no way around that.
Yes.
my question becomes with some of the teams like that, when you've relied on that mentality for so long and you're always the place that's just going to get players, what happens when you're not?
Yes.
Because I've hated that he hasn't forced their hand to give up the last of those draft picks. Like, I want them to go all in on somebody.
You know what, though? I'll tell you what happens. You turn into the Knicks, and you actually have to start to invest in yourself. You have to draft well. You have to scout well. You have to hire the right coach. You have to take the basketball decision seriously. And a lot of those teams that don't have to do that, they haven't had to do that. They were like, everyone will always come here.
And I think that one thing that has proven true far more often than not is a lot of teams, I think, have finally started realizing, like, yes, stars will always have input, always have, always will. Mm-hmm. But you can't give the team over to the star.
Yeah. It's very, very true.
Because, I mean, it's worked out better with the Knicks that way. And they finally stopped that eternal chase for the huge name to come be a Knick.
Yeah. We can't, we have to save ourselves.
Just the impatience. I would have been like, Carmelo, I know you want to come here. Why are we giving up assets?
Wait 4 months.
Why are we giving up assets?
Yeah. Well, switching over, Embiid is excited about the new big three in Philly. His quote, on paper and as far as the fit, it looks fantastic because you got both guys that can play off the ball, meaning Paul George and also Tyrese Maxey, and they can play on ball, and they're great shooters, and they can handle the ball. And then you also got me. So, yeah, it looks great. Should he be excited?
Should be excited in theory. With good health, they're automatically better.
Wait. So I posted on our story. It was basically something I was saying, who's going to stop this big three? And they circled both of Paul George's knees and Embiid's knees. And then someone else had said the new nickname for the big three of the Sixers: probable, questionable, doubtful. I love it.
It's not wrong. I mean, we haven't had, since Indiana, we haven't had long playoff runs.
No.
For Paul George. Joel Embiid has not seen a conference finals.
Not one.
The one thing that should be nice about this, especially with having a high-level backup for him too, Joel, you got your MVP. Sit some games. You don't need to be murdering somebody in the middle of November. You have to sit some games.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
Yep.
We all know how good you are. Now you're at the elitist of elite levels, to where the only thing that matters now is true championship contention, which if you go your whole career not making a conference finals, you weren't that great.
Yeah, you didn't do as much as we thought you could, and the process was never completed. Switching gears over to free agency, got a free agency update. DeMar Derozan moves on from the Bulls, landing in Sacramento in a sign and trade deal worth 3 years for $74 million. Was this a good deal? Harrison Barnes also moved to San Antonio in the same deal.
It's the best deal for San Antonio. They take on Barnes, is a solid veteran. He doesn't have that much left in the tank, at least to me personally.
Yeah.
But they are the ones that got the pick swap out of this. Now, and I could understand why Chicago let it be this way, because normally I'd pick on Chicago for never wanting to spend money, because they never want to spend money. But why would you be spending money on this team? You need this team to be as bad as possible. It is Cooper Flag time.
No, that's for my Wizards. NBA.
Don't subject Cooper Flag to that.
No, daggone it. Can I get something? Can we ever get anything?
No, we need Cooper Flag to be good, and he's not going to be good if he goes there.
Man, listen, Cooper Flag, the French Connection, and then we start moving. That's right. It's Bilal Coulibaly and
who's taking that Jordan Poole money off your hands?
That's the issue. We got to figure out a way to get those things out. But man, listen, man, look. I'm trying to position myself for the 2030s. That's what we're trying to do at this point.
Well, honestly, as teams like that, you should be doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's another decent move for the Spurs, like just to add to this thing. And I like that it didn't automatically turn into, I love the Chris Paul edition. Low risk for them, which I think will be high reward. But Wembanyama's not that ready.
Yeah.
Now listen, he might mess around and make you better than you should be this year. But this ain't a title contending team.
No.
Don't go out there spending money and adding pieces. That was one of the problems with the LeBron Cavs. The first version of them was it was constantly like, well, we got him here. We got to go make a run for it. So they never built up the rest of the roster.
Let's get Shaq.
Yeah, exactly. The Shaq move. There were a lot of moves like that. It was just constantly like, let's add, let's spend the money, let's add. Now, part of that is dictated by one person who has always wanted that. Not as much then.
Not as much then, for sure.
Not as much
then as at all, actually. But
you would have thought he would have learned from that to start taking part of, I don't know, I guess it's just all different basketball philosophies. I know your windows are only so small, but their window's not there yet.
Yeah. Talking about the Spurs.
Yeah.
Lastly, on free agency, Franz Wagner signs his rookie max, 5 years, $224 million to stay in Orlando. My question was, is this the right move? He was averaging 15 points a game as a rookie, moved it up to 18 points his second year, and then this past year, 19 points per game. All of his major stats have moved up over the course of his first 3 years.
Except shooting last year. Shooting was down last year.
Shooting was down. But man, $224 million. I don't know. That was a lot.
You have to do it though.
We've talked about it. You do have to do it.
The money has to go to somebody.
It sucks.
And when they're there, young, homegrown, Franz Wagner brings you a lot of pluses.
Yeah.
It's just one of those. It's the way the league is structured. Because also, with the exception of the couple times people wanted to go there, for the most part, nobody's looking to go to Orlando.
Yeah.
And the only reason that's going to make them look to go to Orlando is him and Paolo.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, I think you look at every other year except for last year, I think it's more likely that his shooting is better than last year just by coming back to what he usually does. So I think it's a move you have to make. I think we all see that contract, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
But what's your other option? Let him walk?
I don't know.
I don't understand the rush to get the deal done, because at the very end of it, he's still in restricted free agency. You could still come out and match.
Well, but then you put yourself in those Jeremy Lin territories where somebody can outpay you, and then you're basically stuck. You know what I mean?
If you do, you do. But I think in some cases, I think everybody's a little better off, and it gives you more flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
Let's wait a year. And you know what? Maybe you have a great year, and maybe it sticks it to us.
Yeah.
But I think more often than not, unless it's a true superstar, like the moment you can extend Paolo for the maximum amount of money, you do it.
Yes.
That I'm not even going to question or think about.
Yeah.
But with everybody else, when you're not at that true star level, I don't know, man. Let's just give it another year.
It's not a bad call. It's not a bad call for sure.
It's not how the league is done. It's not how the business is done. Now I've read some things lately. The one I like him as a player. I don't understand why you need to pay Scotty Barnes all that money.
I'm saying
for a team that's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're in such a rush.
But do you see what I'm saying?
There's some deals where it's like, who are you bidding? Who is this bidding against?
Yeah, you're bidding against yourself. You're just giving it because they say you're supposed to give it, and it's like.
And like I said, I mean, sometimes it's
keep your flexibility,
because people try to say that about the James Harden thing. It's like that James Harden thing was a handshake. That deal was done before that deal was done. Let's just put it that way.
Oh man! All right, let's go ahead and close out the show. Switching gears over to the MLB. Today's MLB segment is sponsored by our friends at Mr. Fries Man, located steps away from the Las Vegas Strip with steak, chicken, and shrimp. Mr. Fries Man is truly the fries shop with imaginative toppings. And when you get there, don't forget to tell them the American Fan sent you for your own special discount. I only have one question before we get out. Is it time to call the season for these teams? So, Dave, up first.
I'm just gonna let you know I have the same answer for everyone that you're gonna ask.
Yes, it's yes across the board. Well, up first is my sad, lovable, unlovable Cubs at 42 and 49, dead last in the NL Central. So is it time to call it?
Yes. Why not? What else? What are you holding on to?
Even in a bad division.
They still look pretty doggone bad in that bad division.
Damn.
What are you building on right now?
Nothing.
Who's your future?
Nothing. We have a top 5 farm system.
Cool. Let's start seeing all of them.
Bring them up.
Let's start seeing all of them. That's one thing I hate with baseball. I hate this team control nonsense where you consistently make your team not as good as it should be because you're so afraid about paying this guy a year earlier.
Well, and then
every once in a while, hey, guess what? Pittsburgh's not that good a team. Paul Skeens is legit.
Why are we burning arm motions in the minors?
Let's bring him out now. Stop with this nonsense. Like, when you have this great farm system, cool, use it. You know a team that used that when they sucked forever? The Houston Astros. How'd that work out? Worked out pretty doggone well.
They've been solid for a decade now. The Reds, a half a game above my Cubs at 42 and 48.
Yeah, but at least they're getting those mutants out there. Like, who's that kid they just brought up?
Yes,
oh, my God, he's like 6'7".
Yeah, he's really
What is
big.
he doing on a baseball field? Between him and him and Dela Cruz. They got another one.
They have another guy that's big? Dela Cruz is huge.
Yeah. This guy's taller.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't see
His name is slipping my mind right now. It's going to drive me crazy. But, oh, my Lord. Where are these guys? Why are they playing baseball?
They should be on a basketball court somewhere. I do apologize. This is the time of the year where I actually start caring about baseball, so I will start watching and learning.
It takes
names
a little
again.
bit.
Up next, the Rockies, 32 and 58. The Rockies have been bad for a long time.
Well, the problem for them is, the Giants, my favorite team, flirt with being good every once in a while. They're not good right now.
Yeah.
But they're kind of developing, and they lurk around 500. But then the Dodgers pay a ton of money. San Diego has paid a ton of money.
Arizona's starting to pay some.
Well, they have to because they got a lot of good talent.
Yeah.
That lineup is no joke.
Yeah. So, looks like the Rockies, your season is over.
I mean, listen. Unfortunately, somebody has to suck. Colorado Rockies, that someone is you.
It's your turn. The Blue Jays, and this one hurts because the Blue Jays, this was supposed to be each of the last, I'd say 3 years, this was supposed to be their year. Vlad Guerrero Jr., we're gonna win. We're gonna actually put together a competent team, and they're 41 and 49. It's been tough to watch. I think that they're done too, especially in that division. That division's so tough. Between the Yankees and the Orioles at this point. The Red Sox has kind of come down as well, but
yeah, they have no one to blame themselves on that one.
Yeah, the Red Sox have had nobody's crying
worst
for the Red
transaction
Sox.
In the history of transactions, or close to it.
Talking about Babe?
The Mookie Betts deal.
Oh yeah, that was bad. It was bad. In retrospect,
it was bad at the time.
At retrospect, that was
especially when you hate the Dodgers. It's like cool. You can give up a guy with back problems for Mookie Betts. Great, I love it. Everything has worked out really well for them. I curse them. I put a hex on them to suck forever.
The beard curse.
That's right. That was
next,
oh God, what a travesty of a deal that was.
I'm trying to think who's that deal for. Hold on.
Yeah, this the problem is it was so bad you can't even remember already.
Yeah, it wasn't good enough. Was it? No, that wasn't it.
Mookie Betts was at worst the second best player in baseball at that point.
Let me see.
And you use that to get off of David Price's money that you screwed up in paying him?
Sending Betts, David Price, and half of Price's salary to the Dodgers for Verdugo?
Yeah, it was Alex Verdugo.
And Jeter Downs?
Yep.
And Connor Wong?
Yep.
Connor Wong is the only one still on the Red Sox.
Verdugo was the prize of this deal, and he had already had back problems in the minors.
Bro, that's really bad.
It was bad then. It's only gotten worse.
Jesus Christ! Mookie Betts slapped somebody's girlfriend in the front office. That's the only.
Who cares? Give her up. She ain't worth it. She ain't worth it.
Is she not worth it?
No. for Mookie Betts.
And this is coming from Dave Nobles, who is the knight in shining armor for all of our female listeners.
Listen, Mookie Betts is something else. What you also miss is, and I hear people talk about this all the time, this is one of the biggest missed opportunities there. This is the face of Black American baseball.
Yeah.
He's never been anything but loved by everyone.
Yeah.
And he could do everything. Like, he just decided, he came back off the injured list last year. Like, oh, you got somebody in center? You need help at second base? Oh, I can do that. Starts this year. I'm going to play shortstop this year. Cool. Let's just do whatever we want now.
He's just good at everything.
It's awesome. I love it. I love everything about it.
Mookie Betts, good at everything. We already know where that goes. Well, thank you guys so much again for tuning in to another episode of the American Fan 365 podcast. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. As we said before, make sure you're sending in your questions so we can keep bringing you guys in on the conversation. Eventually, we're going to have a go live feature or something. We'll figure that out. Trav screamed silently in the back. But we'll see you guys next time. And please make sure you stay hydrated out there.
Yeah, please.
Drink some Cocoa Love. Take care.